everybody? Welcome to Capital Combat. The name says it all. I'm Hakeem Branch.
Rob Jarrell.
And today we're going to recap this past weekend's big fight weekend. We had lots of fights, so many that we didn't even get to cover all of them. We got Paul Smith and Andre Ward. We got Adrian Broner and Sean Porter. We had Lemieux-N'Dam and David Lemieux. And then we also had fights on Sunday with Bartholomew and DeMarco. We didn't even cover those. So it was a great fight. So go check it out. If you
Jalen Love and somebody else he knocked out. Sorry.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. It was so many fights. It was a great weekend for fights. They also had UFC on Fight Pass. If you missed that, some good fights. Women's strawweight belt. Let's get into the fisticuffs for this past weekend because we be talking up here all day about what happened. First up, we're going to talk about Lemieux-N'Dam and David Lemieux. They fought for the belt that Jermaine Taylor had to vacate at middleweight because of his
reasons.
Yeah, his out of the ring issues. Hopefully he gets all that straightened out and can either get back or get on with his life. Nobody wishes for, guys to end up broke in jail. Cautionary tales. Anyway, we got David Lemieux, power puncher. Lemieux-N'Dam, great boxer, not a lot of power, but very crafty guy. Take it away, Rob.
All right, so this is a fight that we thought that Lemieux-N'Dam would be the boxer and Lemieux would be the power punching stalker. And at the end of the day, what we got was Lemieux-N'Dam being the boxer and David Lemieux being the hard punching thrower. What did we see from this fight? Beyond anything else, we saw the toughest SOB in boxing today. I cannot say that N'Dam was knocked down by Lemieux, who throws a mean and very accurate left hook.
Yeah.
And knocked N'Dam down 4 times. Once in the second, two times in the 5th, and once in the 7th. And each time, not only did N'Dam get up, but he remained on the offensive. He kept moving and he showed little wear throughout the fight. And I mean, he was attacking, trying to push the fight, get those points back, which is hard to do. But he showed that, yes, he can box, he can move, and he's tough. The problem is Lemieux was always on the offensive. He did not gas. He looked in great shape. He looked like he had power in both hands. I mean, he really threw with speed in both hands. Again, he's short and he has very short arms, so the distance from here to here is a lot quicker and a lot shorter. And he remained to carry. He kept carrying his power throughout the fight. The problem was those knockdowns. I think he was getting frustrated because he couldn't finish the fight. He thought each time that he had him out. And what happened? N'Dam got up and showed his mettle. Now, the problem with that is N'Dam, while he is extremely tough, he's a good boxer, he doesn't seem to have the greatest defensive reflexes because he was constantly being pushed against the ropes and was able to be walked down at times where Lemieux cut off the ring. And you kind of want a little bit more from Lemieux because he can be hit, but he showed that at times that he could cover up, dodge some of the punches, slip some punches here and there, not a whole lot, and remain on the offensive. I would have liked to see him go to the body more. He had a great setup where he went right downstairs, which was blocked, but came right back with the left hook.
Yeah, so far this has been my favorite fight of the year. And if you guys saw our last 2 Technical Toolbox episodes, how to cut off the ring and how to prevent getting the ring cut off on you, this fight demonstrated both of those to a T. It was excellent. You had Lemieux cutting off the ring, you had N'Dam getting cut off, and sometimes not preventing Lemieux from cutting him off because he didn't do it the entire time. You saw some of the mistakes he made where he got him on the ropes and he loaded up, and N'Dam either tied him up, turned him around, or got out of there.
That's right.
You saw N'Dam pumping his jab, giving Lemieux something to think about. You saw both guys punch with their opponent, and for Lemieux, it produced devastating results for knockdowns. I think every knockdown he scored, he was punching with N'Dam and caught him with a counter shot. That stuff that it's hard to teach in the gym, and because a lot of people don't like to get hit, a skill that a lot of people don't try to even master. Both guys did it excellently in this fight. If you have not seen this fight, look it up on YouTube. It is great.
Yes.
Let's move on. Next fight we got.
Oh, well, before we move on, they're saying that Lemieux has to defend against his mandatory for the
who is
well, they're saying it's, was it Billy Saunders or Billy Joe
Saunders.
Billy Joe Saunders, but he has a title match coming up versus Andy Lee. So we'll probably see the winner of that match fight Lemieux. Personally, I want to see Lemieux fight Golovkin because for as long as it lasts, it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, it's probably like a better version of Curtis Stevens and Golovkin, because Curtis Stevens caught Golovkin a couple times. Lemieux, I believe, hits harder than Stevens, a little bit more technically sound, and both guys will have their chin tested.
That's
so
right.
That's going to be a good one. Whenever we get to see that one.
Now moving on.
Yeah, now let's move on to Andre Ward and Paul Smith. Andre Ward coming back from a 19-month layoff, a year and a half, against Paul Smith, who was last seen taking Arthur Abraham twice to a decision. The first one, a lot of people thought he won. The second one, Abraham was able to pull away. The big thing about this was the catch weight, 172. And then if you caught our supplemental video, the quick counter episode, Paul Smith missed weight significantly, lost about $35,000 of his purse. And also, if you follow us on Facebook, you'll know that Andre Ward gave every penny back to him.
After whipping up on him.
Yeah, that was a classy move by him. But yeah, he missed weight by about 4.5 pounds. Then missed the next day weigh-in again, so he had to pay even more money. And it showed in the ring. Because Paul Smith at 168, when he fought Arthur Abraham, and it might have been because he was fighting Arthur Abraham, and I've seen other fights of his, so it's not just Arthur Abraham. He had some pretty quick hands. Against Andre Ward, those hands were slow as molasses.
He could not pull the trigger on his punches. He did catch Andre Ward once, I believe, in the...
It was twice in like the 7th round.
For a 7th round with a right hand. Andre Ward just took it, weathered the storm, and just put a beating on.
Went back to work.
He went back to work and targeted a cut over his left eye or right eye. It was his left eye.
I think he was cut over his left eye. The great thing, because Paul Smith was walking around, he had the earmuffs on, and I was sitting there looking at it, I was like, whoa, the body's open, the body's open. I would like for him to go to the body more, but he did see it, and he did start going to the body right around the elbows. Because his elbows were out high, he didn't have them in tucked in like, say, a Winky Wright would do to protect his body. He had them out wide, so those looping body shots were there. And Ward did begin to do that later on. He was also very accurate with the straight punches, and the uppercut was beautiful.
Textbook lead left uppercut. There was one that he threw right between the seams, and it was a thing of beauty.
Yes, Andre Ward didn't look like he missed much of a step. We got to see him in there with better competition. He's got to decide what weight class he's at.
Well, they said he was just going to go back down to 168. There is plenty of competition there.
Plenty. We discussed that.
If he's willing to travel, there's even more money in it. I don't see him really traveling, but there are guys in that division that he can fight in. Groves, Badou Jack, James Seguel, Gilberto Ramirez, Fedor Shootinov. There's still the Durrell brothers. I mean, you could come back. He could fight Sakio Beek again. I mean, it's...
Jalen Love is also climbing up the ranks as well.
Jalen Love, he's had his setbacks, but he's firing up. There are people for him to fight at 168.
Yes.
But we all know people want to see him versus Golovkin. Golovkin's trying to make the fight with Froch, unless, of course, something happens with Lemieux, which is going to be big money at the Bell Center in Canada. And, of course, there's the Froch rematch. Not going to happen.
Yeah.
But we all know everyone wants to see him at 175 versus Kovalev. and against Adonis Stevenson, and possibly, depending on how he fares in his next fight, what's the guy that he won on PBC not too long ago?
Beterbiev?
Yeah, Beterbiev. Artur Beterbiev.
I don't think he's ready yet. He's got potential. He's not ready quite yet to step up to those guys. But I'm looking forward to see him when he does step up to those guys.
That's right.
One more thing about Ward. A lot of people are like, oh, you know, he's just punching his arms. He's just punching his arms. Go let somebody punch you in the arms when you're blocking. It still hurts. That's why Paul Smith was still getting jarred by those punches.
That's right.
And every now and then they slip through. That's why Andre Ward continued to punch in combination, because some of them were going to get through, some of them were not. He stayed on the attack. That's what you're supposed to do, even when someone is constantly defending. Keep attacking. Same thing with Manny Pacquiao and Joshua Clottey.
That's right.
Saw the same thing. If Rob punches me and I'm blocking here, the force of his punches are going to knock my fist into my face, and it won't feel good.
And it's going to be harder to hold it up, because it's going to be harder. You get hit on the arms all the time, and they're going to drop. They're going to come wide. They're going to come up. What's that doing? Increasing your targets and giving you more space to punch, whether it's between or round.
Yes. So Andre Ward was doing some surgeon work in there on Saturday night. So we gotta see him against some better opponents, so we can really see how good he is. I mean, we know how good he is, but we really want to see how good he is.
That's right.
Against those top level guys. So that being said, he's got a lot of options. He's pretty much in the driver's seat depending on what he wants to do. So let's hope he can stay busy, and we'll hear from him again maybe in the winter.
That's right.
Let's move on to the NBC main event, where we had Adrian the Problem Broner against Sean Showtime Porter in a welterweight catchweight fight. Broner has been competing at 140 for the past year and some change, almost 2 years now. Sean Porter has been competing at welterweight since about 2011, 2012. So they met in the middle, and the things we talked about in the preview video did show up in the fight. Unfortunately, this fight was not aesthetically pleasing at all. You had a lot of grabbing, a lot of mauling. One of the things about Porter's style, that specifically Porter, that I'm not too far about, he smothers his punches a lot. He gets too close sometimes. We know he likes to get in close and fight, but a lot of times he gets too close, allows himself to be tied up and have to reset. There were plenty of times that happened where Adrian Broner was happy to just grab him. Broner was only throwing out 1 to 2 shots at a time. He was slapping a lot with his hook. There was a lot of times he was pulling his punches. There was one sequence, I can't remember the round, but he had Porter in the corner and he's trying to jab him and throw right hands, but you could see him pulling. He's doing just like this. And none of the punches got to Porter, but his guard was open enough for it. If he had actually committed to those punches, they would have landed.
And when you have a guy in the corner like that, or even a guy like Porter who can be baited to coming in because he likes to lunge in, he likes to come in and try to maul you, you can throw a soft one, you can bait him, fake, but you got to throw a stiff, hard jab right behind it, because as you bait him and bring it back, he's coming to you. So right. Immediately pump right back with a stiff, hard jab, and Kell Brook did a really good job of that in their fight, and stop his momentum coming in. He will think twice.
Yep, that's why Kell Brook won that fight.
That's right.
Adrian Broner did not win this fight. Also, Broner did catch him with a good left hook in the 12th round. Knocked him down. It didn't look like he actually hurt Porter. Like, the look on his face was like, man, I can't believe this crap. Like, he was just mad that he got hit with that punch and it caught him and he went down.
That's right.
But that's still a 10-8 round for Broner. He needed it. He had gotten a point deducted for all the holding he was doing, and he resorted to his usual antics. Unfortunately for Adrian Broner, I really think he's reached his ceiling as far as what he's going to be able to accomplish in the ring. He's not really looking like he has that work ethic that he wants to be the best. He kind of just wants the accolades of being the best. and not the work ethic required to be the best. Even being around the best in Floyd Mayweather is not rubbing off on him.
And that goes beyond his sheer talent.
Yeah,
he's talented.
The guy is talented as all crap, and that's what's so frustrating about it.
And you can see with Mayweather, he really invests time and effort into this kid, and he just hasn't matured. He's not listening. He's not working. You can honestly see it at the weigh-in, where Sean Porter, being the professional that he is, the sportsman that he is, went to shake Broner's hand, and he walked off with Mayweather grabbing him, trying to bring him back to shake his hand. Now, say what you will about Mayweather, but with guys that he fights, he, especially later on in his career, he has showed respect to guys like Miguel Cotto, guys like Marquez. I mean, trash talk is part of sports in the game. But you can see that he shows respect to his opponent in some way, shape, or form. Now, what happens outside of the ring with excuses at the whole him and Pacquiao, throw that out the window. That is a completely different thing that we're not going to get into. But this is one of those times where, again, listening would have done Broner a lot of good. And just to show that maturity, to listen and act as a professional. And we know he's all about the style, but I hate to say, he does lack substance. He came in there in shape. He came in there, still had the speed, the talent, the maturity, the work ethic, and just thinking, and his mentality has to change if he's going to be as great as he think he is.
Yeah, and he also got into it with Sean Porter's dad, Kenny Porter, at the end of the fight, which was completely unnecessary. The fight's over. Why are you going over there talking trash? And I think Kenny Porter was 100% right to curse him out, shove him out, and tell him to go get out of his face.
And, just to let you all know, you can see the difference, and this is, you can agree with me or not, between Mayweather is very invested in Adrian Porter, but he's also invested in another welterweight that won on the undercard with Errol Spence knocking out Phil Greco in the 3rd round. You can see the difference because the guy is a hard worker. He looks like he's listening. Yeah. He does what he's told from the guys that are coaching him. Yeah. That's the kind of mentality Broner needs.
Yeah, if he wants to make it to that next level, because if you really look at his resume and the opponents, it's not a lot to be, it's not like he was fighting a lot of world beaters, and every time he stepped up, he struggled, unfortunately. Even in the lower weight classes, like when he fought Ponce de Leon, a lot of people thought he lost that fight. His best win pretty much is Paulie Malignaggi and Antonio DeMarco. And Antonio DeMarco just got blanked by Francis Barthélemy. So, I mean, he's a decent guy. He was one of the best guys in that division, but he still was not that good of a fighter when you look at the big landscape of the weight classes in the area.
Especially at 140. And let's face it, that division, some guys moving out between Garcia and Peterson, they're moving out. There's some guys moving right back in. You just saw Francis Barthélemy. You see Terrence Crawford.
Yeah. So he's at the bottom of that list as far as top. Oh, actually, he retired. Yeah. I just read that today. He retired after losing to Barthélemy. So yeah, now he's out of the picture. But
who else moved up? Was it Omar Figueroa moved up?
Yep.
So there's guys just like him moving up that he didn't fight, and that just makes the division more dangerous. There are no soft touches for Broner in either division.
Yeah, he's really gonna have to pick that work ethic up if he's going. But you know, it seems that all he really cares about is the money, and they are paying him big money. So I guess his plan is working. So to each his own. That's it for this episode, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like this video. Share it with your friends. If you have not subscribed, make sure you do. Check out our other videos, Technical Toolbox, Combat Mailbag, and the like. Follow us on Facebook, Capital of Combat, Google+, same name. You can hit us up in our email, capitalofcombat@gmail.com. Any of those, you got anything you want to say, you can drop us in the comments section. Hit us up on any of those platforms, and we are happy to hear from you and talk with you. So we'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace. This is round
round one and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming and cost. My fists are on fire, I perform till I perspire. My demons are in a rage, keep thinking that it's a game. I kick rhyme, hurricane. I told them I don't play, I'm liquid.
Black Street Fighter.